Evening, ladies and gents, how you doing? Do you remember when Rona was raging and they told you not to go to the hospital or the doctor? You know, the entire reason the NHS was created, right, is to look after your health. But you remember when they told you not to go to the doctor or the hospital because you had to protect the NHS? Do you remember that? Turns out the threat's literally to the NHS, isn't it? And I do, of course, mean literal violence. From the BBC today, female staff member stabbed in hospital A&E by some bloke. Thanks for that, some bloke. Not looking good, is it? I feel a bit shortchanged that I avoided going to get that annoying ingrown toenail seen to, only for a nurse to get stabbed in the eye by a holy warrior from a third world dust bowl. Yeah, I'm glad we put some effort in to save the NHS. Okay, female staff member stabbed in A&E. Nice one. Imagine you're sitting in there because you've got a toothache. Next thing you've got a yardie shivving the nurses. This is probably one of the rare occasions when you go into the hospital and you come out feeling worse. A man has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after a member of staff, believed to be a nurse, was seriously injured in a stabbing at a hospital. Brilliant. The woman, aged in her 50s, was left with life-changing injuries in the attack at Royal Oldham Hospital's A&E department on Saturday. Greater Manchester Police said officers believed a member of the public attacked her with a sharp instrument. They're telling us nothing. How many times have I told you about this? They tell you nothing. Nothing. Because they don't want to tell you about the offender and what the bloke looked like and where he came from and why he did it. They just use all of this pointless filler. They'll tell you about the landscape gardening outside, or the food in the work canteen, or whether or not the ambulance had bald tyres, but they won't tell you who did it. Who? That entire paragraph is redundant. Look at it. Greater Manchester Police, well, we know that because you're in Manchester, believe a member of the public. A member of the public. Is there anyone out there who isn't a member of the public? Anyone? Even Jacob Rees-Mogg or Elton John are members of the public. This is nothing. Attacked her with a sharp instrument. Yeah, that's what you stab people with, sharp instruments, yeah. She remains in hospital. Well, yeah, because that's where it happened. They don't have to take her anywhere, do they? What they're going to do, take her back to her house and perform surgery on a living room floor? Christ on a bike. Anyway, a 37-year-old man was arrested. Just a man. That's it. A man. Can't tell you anything about him. Detective Sergeant Craig Rotter's appealed for information, adding, "We know that news of this nature will come as a shock." Nah, not these days, mate. Not a shock at all. Listen, when you've got Rwandans stabbing up 7-year-old girls, or Libyans blowing up pop concerts, I mean, think of that. It's like a bad movie, isn't it? The baddies were always Libyans in the 1980s. Now, it's like some sort of dystopian science fiction film. We've got Rwandans killing children and Libyans blowing up pop concerts in England. And you think one nurse getting stabbed is going to come as a shock? I'm not shocked. I'm amazed Bin Laden's nephew hasn't went through the local hospital in a leather jacket and a pair of sunglasses with a pump-action shotgun a la Arnie from Terminator. I'm amazed that has happened weeks ago. If I picked up a newspaper now and it said, Bin Laden's nephew dressed as the Terminator waltzed through an A&E, hacking off nurses' limbs, that wouldn't shock me. I'd be like, it's Tuesday. Tuesday in modern Britain. Easy. No, not shocked at all, Norbert. Because of people like you. Anyway, I'm ranting. The local community can expect to see an increase in police presence while we carry out our enquiries, but they're also there to offer reassurance and any questions you might have. Listen. Seeing some little fat 5-foot midget dwarf woman waltzing around the car park eating sausage rolls and Cadbury's picnics doesn't reassure me. Just get a scaffolder or a plumber or a bricklayer, a bloke who looks like he works for a living. I'll be much more reassured than I will by seeing one of your sparrow-boned coppers or some little fat woman in comfortable shoes that you hired for some diversity initiative that Andy Burnham thought was a good idea. Because you're grossly incompetent and all your officers are stupid. What's reassuring about them? You've been telling us for the last 20 years that you're not interested in hiring bootnecks and paratroopers to be coppers. You want little fat birds who've got a degree in Latin, or a little British Bangladeshi who loves watching the British baking show whilst wearing a hijab. They're the people you want working for the police. How's that going to reassure me? The only reassurance I'd have from a little fat copper woman is that I could possibly roll her towards an assailant. You know, he might trip over or something that'll buy me a couple of seconds, but she's not going to do anything with a truncheon, is she? She's going to be hiding behind me. So no, you don't reassure me. But it's the thought that counts, isn't it? Heather Caudle, the chief nursing officer, said the staff were incredibly shocked and saddened. Oh, well, as long as you're shocked and saddened, it's all right. Quick, get the piano out, play Imagine, and then get another 50,000 stabby men over. Good idea. Our thoughts are also with thoughts and prayers. So to sum up, less than half a sentence describing the assailant. But thoughts and prayers, 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 and thoughts. Cheers. Brilliant. It's all going well in Manchalabad. Love that. Jim McMahon, who's also a minister for the local government, he expressed shock as well. Oh, shock and thoughts. Now, are we going to have some more shock and thoughts? Thoughts. Oh, yeah. Thoughts with the staff members and wished them a full recovery. Wished. Yeah, well, for weeks I've wished that Angelina Jolie will give me a gobble while I'm, watering the garden, but it's never happened. Wishes of fishes. So, this entire pointless facade, let's get rid of it. It offends me even having the BBC on my monitor. That's better. Taking out the trash. The entire story was pointless. There was no information of any use in it whatsoever. It was just, it was a man. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Wishes, wishes, wishes. Hope everything's going to be all right. By the way, there's another 50,000 blokes due in this month. Happy days. So, there you go. To sum up, not shocked, not surprised, not reassured. Definitely not reassured by the little dumpy fat birds who you've employed to be police officers. All right, that's it for the day. I hope you enjoyed that story. Probably enjoyed it if you live nowhere near Manchester, London, or any of the big cities in the UK, because they've been turned into cesspits of crime and depravity by the raving lunatics that have run the world for the last 30 years. But that's all I've got for you. If you disagree and you think Manchester's a great place to be, and it's an even more great place to go to hospital, because there's nothing better than waiting for a prescription and seeing a middle-aged nurse get accosted with a prison shank. If you think that, please let me know in the comments so I can identify yet another nutcase for the loony bin, all right? And now pass your details on to the authorities post-haste. Thanks for tuning in. See you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.